Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to Girl Plus Garden. If you are new here, my name is Jordan, and today I wanted to take you guys along on a little walkthrough through the garden and what it's looking like now, and just give you a couple of updates. I also realized that I hadn't shared with you guys any updates on the seedlings that I planted in, I think, my very first video on here. So I'll be doing a bit of an update on that as well. So if you're interested in seeing what's going on over here at my place, definitely keep on watching. So if you watched my winter garden plan, if you watched my 2026 garden plan video, then you know that I mentioned that I don't have all of my beds built for this garden. So though I've been gardening now for about, I think this will be my 8th year gardening. Though I've been gardening for 8 years now, I have done a complete garden remodel or reconstruction. So we're kind of in the middle of that right now. I believe at the time of me doing the 2026 garden plan video, I only had about 3 beds built. Now we officially have 5 beds. Though only 2 of them are filled, we do have 3 more beds built out, almost ready to be filled. I need to do just a couple of additional things to them to get them completely and 100% ready for filling. But yeah, I'm gonna show you guys what it's looking like right now, and also kind of give you a bit of an overview of just what my plans are for this space, so that hopefully you guys can visualize with me what this should hopefully look like come summertime. So here is the space. It's a lot. There's so much going on. I know there's a little bit of a glare also from the sun because we are getting into the evening hours here, but you can see I have 5 beds built, and lots more space to kind of work through there in the back. So my plan is to put 1 more bed in this section over here. Obviously this stuff has to be taken down, so all of this stuff over here, the fence that I had up, is going to be knocked down. I had debated for a while on keeping the fence or possibly putting up a new fence structure, but we really don't need it here. I know you can see this big field back here behind my garden space. That is a farmed field or plot of land, so they do industrial farming back there, which in a way does affect my garden, but typically we don't get a lot of pests, so to speak, with regards to especially stuff like deer, to where a fence would really be a deterrent for those bigger animals. All of the smaller animals can get into this space whether there's a fence or not. So I just made the executive decision to go ahead and knock it down. So I've got to finish knocking the rest of this down, and obviously that back panel back there is gonna come down. That black stuff that you might see hanging on the fence back there is some irrigation. So I did have a drip irrigation in this garden in my previous setup. We will be doing that once again. So here is the space from a bit of a different angle. All of the space that doesn't have the garden beds on them is space that or ground that still needs to be worked, especially this section over here. And if you can kind of see the humps in the tarp, that's where the old garden beds used to be. Now my plan there is to basically till the ground and level it out so that I can lay out the space how I plan to have it laid out. So there will be a few more garden beds, about, let's see, I have 5 now, so there will be about 5 more garden beds in this space. And then I will also be doing an in-ground portion, probably 3 to 4 rows. 16-foot rows is what I'm planning for, at least for right now. But a few rows, and then maybe a couple of additional things, be it another in-ground space or another space for maybe 1 or 2 more garden beds. The beds that I have in here are 4 by 12 feet. So again, I'll be doing 5 more 4 by 12 feet beds, and it'll kind of be, the plan is for it to be in an L shape. I do also think I'm going to do a like draw my garden layout with me video, so that way I can kind of give you guys some more reference to how I plan my space, and also give more insight into what the space should actually look like once we're done building it up. So yeah, lots of potential out here, lots of work to still be done. So I'm planning to get as much done as quickly as I can, still taking it somewhat slow, but going week by week and knocking different phases of the space out, so that hopefully by May-ish, hopefully no later than that, really, we can really be into the groove of our official setup. So of course, I'll continue to bring you guys along as we progress through this and give you guys updates on how the space is coming along. This little section here, I did direct sow a few things. So I direct sowed some beets and some carrots and some rutabaga and I think a few other things, and I put this piece of cardboard here just to kind of help retain some of the moisture in this bed. When you're direct sowing seedlings straight into the ground or into your raised bed, you want to ensure that the soil stays moist so that the seeds have the best possible chance to germinate, and allowing that, you know, top few inches of soil to dry out can sometimes really hurt your germination percentages. I'm already kind of working with wishy-washy seeds because these are older seeds, at least the majority of them are older, but just to kind of tell you guys why the cardboard is there, that's what I decided to use to help retain some of that moisture and prevent both myself from not staying on top of it as much as I could, but also the elements, and allowing that to kind of work in my favor by helping retain some of that moisture there. So I'm hoping to see some germination here soon. I haven't seen anything, and it's been like super duper cold over this last week and a half out here, so I'm hoping that we have some germination soon. I will update you guys if I do see any of those seeds come up, so fingers crossed that actually works. I'm thinking some of them should, because again, some of them I did purchase new seeds just so it wouldn't be a complete and total waste. So I'm really confident that at least some of them will, but hopefully majority of them will, but we'll see. So now we're gonna head into the garage. That is where my seedling and grow light station is, so I'm gonna head in there to kind of give you guys a peek at my setup and also an update on some of those seedlings, or seeds rather, that I was sowing in the very first video. So let's go check it out. Okay, so here is a look at my space. Obviously I only have the one tray up there right now because those are the only seeds I've started thus far. But basically this whole rack outside of this bottom shelf, but this whole rack, so these 3 shelves have the potential to contain trays of seedlings. Now obviously we have a bit of a situation going on there with the top shelf. As you know, as I said before, my garden is at my grandparents' house. My grandparents have decided to use that as like a pantry shelf. So I'm going to have to figure out how to remedy that in the meantime, because once the warm season gets here and I begin my warm season crops, I am going to need to use all of this shelving space. But at the very least, even though there's something right here that will be moved, I will at least have these 2 shelves, which should fit about 8 trays, 8, 10, 20 trays. But let me give you guys a close-up of the seedlings we started. I did start some additional ones. As you can see, none of my unfortunately, none of my herbs came up, and also none of the kale, except for this premier kale. None of my other kales came up. None of my chard came up outside of the rainbow chard. I was worried about this cabbage and this broccoli, but luckily they did start sprouting. It took them a little while, but as you can see, we have quite a few. I sowed them so heavily because I wasn't sure how the germination was going to be, but I'm definitely going to have to thin these broccolis out. The cabbage is also still like sprouting up some seeds, so we'll definitely have to see what that looks like in the next week or so, because I am gonna have to pot these up probably sooner than later. I didn't do this in the first video, but I did get some collard green seeds, so that's what this is right here. These are the Georgia Southern collards. They germinated very well. I do need to at least thin them and also up pot them very soon. A few days ago, I did find some sweet pea and some snapdragon seeds that I had in my seed collection, and I went ahead and sowed those because I do want some snapdragons, and the sweet peas just sound like a good and fun idea. I haven't grown sweet peas before, so I'm looking forward to see what that's like. Hopefully they germinate, because again, a lot of these seeds are on the older side. I think that is a brassica seed and not a snapdragon seed, because the shell of it is just way too big to be a snapdragon. Snapdragon seeds are like tiny, but I might save it just to see what it actually is. But yeah, that's an update on the seedlings that I've started thus far. I will be starting some more seeds here in the near future. I believe pepper seeds are going to be next up on my list. Planning to start those within the next week or so that I can get a bit of a jump start with the peppers, since they usually take a little bit longer to germinate, especially those hot pepper seeds. But I also want them to be nice and strong and sturdy for once it's time for them to go and be planted out into the garden. That will probably come in likely another update style video once I start my big kind of overhaul of warm season crops, tomatoes, eggplants, cucumbers, all that stuff. That will probably be in a video all on its own, so be sure to be on the lookout for that. As always, if you want updates and to keep tabs on how we're doing over here, be sure to subscribe and follow along so you don't miss it. Thank you guys so much for tagging along with me on this mini garden tour. I hope you guys can see the vision just like I can. It's giving lots of potential, and I'm super excited for what's to come once this is all kind of up and running to its full potential. So yeah, as always, thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any questions, any comments, be sure to leave them in the comment section below, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video.